Yo, we are live from the Mile High City, live and direct from my place to your goddamn couch, your cell phone, your tablet, your TV, wherever it is you're watching this video. Big up to you. Gonna do a little review of the game. Uh, Before we do that, just want to show the Esther's kit. I don't know if you guys remember seeing this. I haven't really been wearing it too much lately. Um, so I thought I'd break it out. Got the Broncos hat. Today's the Super Bowl. My team is definitely not in it, but we're gonna do the damn thing anyways. So yeah, let's just dive right into this off the bat. A good 3 points, and I say a good 3 points in the sense that we showed heart and we fought, which is something that we are not used to. Okay. Um, so I want to say big up to Kuva. He says big up Leo and all in the chat. Well, big up yourself, Kuva. I hope you're doing good, brother. Long time. You haven't been on the channel, so whenever you want, my man, you're more than welcome to. We got True Gooner, my homie. Bam, big up. You guys, True Gooner is like he says, a true Gooner, but he's not the diluted Gooner. So give this guy a like for sure. True Gooner, big up. Thank you for stopping by, my homie. I appreciate you. Let's see. We just have just a girl who loves Spurs. Kate, how are you? Big up to you. Don't feel bad about the shout out. I could do like 15 minutes of just shouting out all my homies, and I wouldn't even get through half of them. But the real ones know who you are, and you know you're appreciated, and you are one of those. And we're gonna keep going with another one who's appreciated. Man, Daniel Sandoval, ese loco. ¿Cómo andas, amigo? I hope everything is good with you. Let me know down in the comments who you got in the Super Bowl. The Chiefs are playing the 49ers. This is a Tottenham stream, but let me know what you guys got. Let me know how you feel. We got Donna Collins saying, Wagwan, Mr. Leo. Buenos dias. Wagwan, Donna Collins. Besties, yeah, big loves to Leo. Yo, big loves to Kate and to Jimbo and to all my homies. Um, yeah, so like I started off saying, it's 3 points that we definitely needed to pick up when other teams in and around you are dropping points. These type of games are crucial, 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 crucial. And one thing about it is in the way that it happened. Right, again, we went down a goal. And an early goal, I think the penalty came around the 15th, 16th minute. Um, and so that starts off on the wrong foot. And if you guys actually recall, there was a very, very good save from Vicario within like the first few minutes. So yeah, it was definitely when it was definitely they were bombing on us off the get go for sure. One second here, they were definitely bombing on us off the get go, and just hang tight with me, my homies. We were getting bombed on like normally, right? And that tends to happen for some reason. When we're playing the high line, we're always gonna be found out, and it's okay, right? We went down and we showed heart. Um, let me know how you guys feel about Brighton. Were they really a good opponent on the day? Were they somebody that came in and kind of did their game plan, or Deserby wasn't on the bench, so I don't know how much that affects the team going in. Let me know how you guys feel about Brighton. Should we be happy that we beat an opponent like Brighton? If I'm not mistaken, they're still in European football. Last season they had a very good squad. This season they've fallen off a bit, but that doesn't take away from the fact that they're a really good team, right? So they were bombing us off the get go. Of course, Vicario, right off the bat, the corner kick, off of his amazing save, you could see he was pushing his player into off on the line, and that's something that he probably needs to work on. And it was apparent from the get go that they were going to try and expose that, as they have been, as most teams have been. Spurs GCTV, big up. How you doing? How you doing? Big Vic earned his keep yet again. Kuva off the bat, that was an excellent save. Tell me not. And it sets the tone for the rest of the game. Let's see here. Big up Kuva. Best way to describe our game yesterday was rusty. Once we get back to a slick well-oiled machine, ooh wee, look at that analogy. A slick oiled machine, baby. I like that. We will rock. And that is absolutely a spot on comment there. As soon as we and it's already kind of getting into motion, right? We definitely will be talking about that throughout the stream. And we will talk about each player individually. But for right now, I just know the early stages of the game, we definitely let them into it and play their game. Again, a theme of these games recently has been the right side of our squad is not. Let me rephrase that because the right side is doing its job, but they're not really producing or I don't see much excitement from them, right? So the left side, I'm glad we're able to score some goals and contribute from the left side. All of our goals are coming in from the left to the middle, to players like Johnson, who we'll get into, and Kulusevski, who we'll get into. So it was a slow pace start from us. I really didn't see much from our team in the first half. I'm not gonna lie, I did not see anything in the first half at all that made me feel like we were going to win. You guys, it seemed like it was just going to be a tough day at the office. Big up, Lee Smithy Smith. Big up, hashtag Leah's. Big up to you, my homie. Hope you and your daughter are doing well. Hi, Leo. First time dropping into your show. Hope you're well. We got 3 points. Simple. Next game, we need to be ready. I am keeping that belief. Come on, you Spurs. Yeah, I mean, that's a perfect comment, right? But first of all, thank you, Nita, for dropping by. I appreciate you being here. The next game, we need to be ready. I agree. It's one we can only beat who's ahead of us. Let's see, Lee, what's the link? My homies, the link, I think I just sent it to Jimbo. If that's not it, I don't I'm on my tablet here. I'm gonna go into my StreamYard. I think I sent it to on a group chat, but I'll send it again to you guys. I sent it to Jimbo. Let me know if that works or if it doesn't, and then I'll definitely whoever wants to hop on, just let me know for sure. Sonny shows he is pure class. We have missed him. Yeah, comes off the bench with an assist. I mean, yeah, that's exactly what we need from our players to contribute like that. Of course, that's key. Of course, getting some contribution like that. Let's see here. Big up, Lee. Big up. Hi to all in the chat. What's the link? Yep. I think that's it. Let me know if the link doesn't work. Okay. Jimbo's in the back. It works. Jimbo, give me a thumbs up whenever you're ready, my homie, and we'll bring you on. Big up, Leo. Just join. Kellum. Bam. Big up, my homie. Big up to you. Big up, Leo. From the bench was the difference for the win. Energy and quality coming on all good for the rest of the season. Just before I move on, I'm going to kind of touch on that. Tell me not. We had a very stacked bench. Our bench was freaking stacked. And so when I seen the starting lineup and I seen Kulu starting, I was kind of like, what the hell's going on, right? Why wouldn't we go for Johnson? But shows why I'm just a fan and not the manager, right? Let's see here. We have Smithy Smith. Jimbo, you ready, my man? I'm gonna bring you on. Hopefully you're ready. Jimbo.
You all right, Leo?
How you doing, mate?
Good. How you been?
I've been excellent, my homie. Let me just turn this down. I've been good, Jimbo. It's thank you for joining. We're gonna go ahead and bring on this wonderful lady here too. Did I catch you off guard? I'm sorry.
That's all right. I haven't even put any makeup on. I haven't done my hair, and I've got my dressing gown on.
You're still beautiful, darling. You're still beautiful.
Big up, my homies. Well, we are joined by Kate and Jimbo, the couple that just loves Spurs and loves chilling with the homie. So big up to you guys. I was kind of talking about the match, right? I kind of talked about how we started off slow. Seems to be the same shit over and over again. For some reason, we're starting off slow like that. Um, but we're showing heart. We're showing heart, right? And Kate, being as you know, I don't know if this is your first time on the stream, but if it is, welcome. But we're gonna go dive into it. And you're first. I want your opinion. When that first was it a penalty to start? And when the goal went in, how did you feel?
Yes, I think it was definitely a penalty. When the goal went in, I just thought, oh, here we go again. It's going to be a draw at best. I thought we were so poor in the first half. But we, like you say, we are showing heart. We're not playing particularly well, and yet we're grinding out these results. So, you know, we've got to take positive from that. But when I hate to say the name, but when I watched the Gooners today, they're
Don't
different
say
gravy
it.
to us. They're just a completely different gravy to where we are at the minute. But we're at the start of a project, so it is what it is. Can't complain. We've got the 3 points, so it's what it is.
Oh, but we can complain, Kate. There's tons to complain about. Jimbo, again, look, I want to get your opinion on this. I know I kind of know where you're gonna go with this, but when the first goal goes in, you know, what are you thinking? What's the first thought going through your head, Jimbo?
That we come back.
Yeah.
Because this team doesn't give up. So I mean, it's upsetting when you see the first goal going. But I've always got confidence that we'll come back. But there was a point, Leo, which is unlike me. But there was a point I was thinking, shit, I'll take a draw here.
Yeah. No, I mean, look.
And that's unlike me. I'm not
Yeah.
normally like that. But there was a point I was thinking to myself, God, if we get away with a draw here, because we was just under it all the time, weren't we? For about
Yeah.
15 minutes, 20 minutes, and I thought they're going to score in a minute.
Do you guys think the way we're starting has to do with the way teams are starting off against us? These teams got, I mean, and we live in a world where you have everything at the tip of your fingers in an instant. You could watch a replay back in the stadium, right? These coaches have these tablets and they have access to all this type of different information. Do you just think that like nowadays the way teams scout and the way teams prepare, they're just, every team is going to get found out, including a Pep Guardiola treble winning team, right? I mean, at the end of the day, there's just masterminds that are used to picking at shit like this, and they're always going to figure out how to get under your skin. What can we do to cause you guys to foul us? What can we do in the box to score goals against you? Are they just preparing against us really good, or can you just attribute that to like it's the start of a game and everything just takes its time to get rolling?
I think this game just gone. I think our passing was terrible. Wasn't slick enough. There was a lot of wayward passing, and actually, when we the first 10 games of the season, when we had the full team, the passing was so slick, you know. But it's some of it seems nervy to me. Some of the passes, especially some of the when we're playing out the back, Leo. Some of that playing out the back. I was saying to Kate, we're going to get caught in a minute. It just wasn't slick enough.
But that's something. So, Kate, what do you think? Is that something? I feel like that's something that Ange is kind of beating onto our players. Don't kick the ball up there. Don't. Isn't his thing keeping it on the ground, right? Keep the ball on the ground. And he's relying on players like Bentancur to have them silky feet in them. Bentancur did give the ball up, right? When that whole penalty, stemmed from Bentancur. Although he did get the ball in a dangerous spot, like I trust Bentancur above most of our players to kind of, finagle his way out of there.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've just realised I weren't wearing my glasses. Hi, Ben. I think it's a case that they're playing the way Ange is telling them to do, but I think they've still got to learn the system and learn the way that they're playing. I just think, I think it's easy and a really lazy narrative that people are coming out with Tottenham have been found out, because people have been playing that way for years. Arteta plays a certain way, Pep plays a certain way. It's not about being found out. It's about learning the system and learning the different ways to manipulate the teams and find the strength. So, yeah, I think we've got to just remember it's early days. It is early days.
Yeah. Real quick, I just want to say big up to Kellum. Kellum is my friend that I was telling you guys I want to go see while I'm out there, who lives in Wellingborough, right? Kellum, it's Wellingborough. I was trying to explain to my homies, and I'm like, I think that's what it is. But big up to you, Kellum. I appreciate you being here.
You got to say Ben, it like that. Wellingborough.
Wellingborough. That's probably why they didn't know what I was talking about. What the fuck is Wellingborough?
Whereabouts is Wellingborough? Whereabouts?
It's right near the beach, Jimbo.
All knows it's Berlin.
Ben, first of all, can I say to you, my homie, I really appreciate you, and I enjoy having you around, homie. Thank you for joining.
As always, homie.
We have the coffee here from the Coffee Company and Tottenham on Tour. We're kind of just diving into the game, bro, and I was asking if I want your opinion, Ben. Are teams really planning? Are they really game planning against us at the beginning of the games, or is it just like in the morning when you get going, everything just takes its time?
Well, it's going to take time. Kate is right. I caught the end of what she said. It will take time to get used to that pattern of play and creating those triangles, but it is totally evident because it's going to the game and watching it on the telly. It's such a different experience. It's such a different thing. And you can very clearly see the way Tottenham are playing at the moment. We play so narrow in that midfield. Our two inverted fullbacks and our two more, our more recessed midfielders in Sarr and Bentancur. You could throw a blanket over them. So what teams like to do is they like to put a block so we can't play through them. And it's going to take time. We're going to have to... I don't know if this is the way Ange really wants to play at the moment, but the fullbacks have to take some responsibility because they're going to have to take it amongst themselves and just say, right, you go narrow, I go wide. Because what's happening is it's too easy to mark us out the game, which is why we're getting frustrated, which means it pushes us back. And against teams like Brighton that like to win the ball far up the pitch, just like we do, we will be found out. Teams will press us and we will lose the ball and we will give away goals, which is fine because we do the same thing against teams like Brighton that play a very similar style of football. We will do the same to them, but it's playing your opposition. You do have to tinker your team. We're not Manchester City. We're not prime Barcelona. We're not prime Bayern Munich. We're not prime Real Madrid that can say we play the same way every week and we're going to batter the other team. We do have to tinker it. Some games will have to be more defensive. Some games will have to be more attacking. That's management, and Ange, 6 months into a job, can't really do that because he needs to assess his squad and he needs to bring more players in that are going to suit that way of football. And that's the way it is.
At the end of the day, that's just it, Ben, right? He's kind of doing the best that he can with what he has. I can only imagine if he had the players that that he wants to have and bring in, we're going to be seeing a huge difference and probably even a different style of play, right? Than what we're seeing right now. Real quick, Spurs GCTV, how many times this season have we gone a goal behind, then go on to get a result? Shows we have faith in the way we play. It will only get better with time and more we add to the squad.
Yeah.
He also follows up and says passing was rusty. Jim, just add a bit of oil and we'll be back to being a slick machine. Big up to Piccolo. Big up to you. That is an awesome picture there, Piccolo. Let's see here. He agrees with you, Kay. Says not found out, still very early, and we can already see signs of subtle and game changes.
There's nothing to find out, Leo, is there? Because everybody knows how we play.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's not finding us out; it's the way we play, and he's going to stick to play that way.
Yeah, it's just the way it is, isn't it, Jimbo? When you play, teams have always done this to us. When they come to the lane, they put 10. They put a lot of the time. Teams used to just put 10 men behind them. We couldn't break the lines. This is the new modern way of football because most teams play passing systems now. It's not like how many teams in the Premier League play very direct football? Maybe 2 or 3, maybe.
Yeah.
So teams will use. You don't really. People love to use the what's it called, the buzzword, the low block. The low block does exist in certain teams when you're playing against teams that are desperate for points. But most teams are doing like a mid-block. They're putting a wall across the midfield because they want to win the ball higher up the pitch. It's the modernisation of football. Yeah. Every team wants the ball because footballers want to play football.
Yeah. Well, I just feel like even though we're probably going through some of the growing pains, which is obviously very, very understandable, especially this early in 6-7 months into the rebuild. It's really just a build. If I'm honest with you, we're 6-7 months into a build of a squad, and I think we're ahead of the curve, my homies. So I'm not even gonna front on that page. I think we're ahead of the curve. Cam, big up to you. Cam62 says just as much as it was us pouring spells in the game, Brighton was very good at moving the ball quickly up the pitch and closing us down. They play Ange ball very well. So that just goes to show, right? It's a system that works for anybody that's willing to kind of implement it and kind of bust your ass off to do it. It'll show results. How do you know? The Arsenal got 6 today, whatever they're in it. I feel sick. Goals counts, and Ange needs to find that magic in our team. My opinion, Tinker, find a player in the team that will open it up more. Come on, you Spurs. Anita goes on and says, yes, Ben, for sure. We need to remember we first need to forget how to play the Jose and Conte ball, then reprogram to play Ange ball over time. With practice, it will become second nature. Yeah. That could be it. I mean, we are still getting rid of a lot of our players. We've gotten rid of tons of them. To say that the majority of them are still here is a lie, because the majority of them are gone. And so is that whole leadership group or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. So Brighton were a good opponent, though, right, guys? I mean, it wasn't just a walkover game. At the end of the day, 3 points are 3 points, Jimbo, and we're happy to walk away with them.
Yeah, massively. Yeah, it's always going to be a hard game. I give my predictions 4-0, 5-0, but it's just me. It was always going to be a hard game, Leo. We knew that. But I did think we would beat them by 2 or 3 goals. I really did. I thought we was going to get our own back. But they're a good team, There's no team is going to just walk all over them. They're a decent team, They're good at pressing. They pass the ball well. They've got some excellent, outstanding single players as well. So it was never going to be easy. So we got the result. That's all that matters at the end of the day, and we learn from our mistakes from that game, which I think this team will do under Ange, learn from their mistakes.
Of course.
We was very, very slapdash, I'm going to say, in our passing.
Yeah.
Seemed to be very nonchalant. Is that the word?
Nonchalant.
Yeah. But when they're playing out the back, they play out the back because they want to draw the other team in, right? So we can do this quick, slick passing and get up the pitch. But they were just they wasn't with it yesterday. Even in the second half, I don't think they were good. But we come away with the win. What can we ask for?
Kuba says his 7-3 prediction was spot on. The ref just blew it up 2 days early. Blew up 2 days early. Don't apologize for the caps. The caps are welcomed here. I just take it as if you're not yelling at me. I just feel like you're putting some emphasis on your statement. That's it. Big up. So I kind of want to dive into some player ratings. And traditionally, people start from the back forward. Here at Mile High Hotspur, we are conventionally normal. So we're going to start from the front and go backwards. And the front man is definitely Richarlison. I'm just going to say Richarlison is he's one of, and this is probably going to get clipped, but he's probably one of the leaders in our team. Now, hear me out. This man is he's a beast. His hustle is unmatched by anybody else on the team, right? He's not the smartest of footballers. I will say that. He does have the bozo gene, Kate. He does have a bozo gene in him or two. But Richarlison is, for me, holding his weight. This might cause controversy.
Yeah.
Kate, how do you feel about that?
I love you, Leo. Stick it up for the pigeon.
How do I feel about that? Well, I think he's crap. And I think he's gone through his purple patch and he's back to being the same crappy Richarlison that we all know and despise.
You're so fickle.
I'm not, because I never changed my stance on him. I never.
So, Jimbo, can you throw her up the stairs?
Well, I thought I was ill.
I was still waffling on. I was still going off.
Yeah, that's what you was doing. That's about right. You was waffling.
I just think whatever the answer is, it is not Richarlison. He was wasteful yesterday. His passing was dreadful.
Well, his passing for the goal weren't too bad, was it?
What goal?
Well, he was the one who passed it on to Sonny, for Sonny to pass it to
So he got a pre-assist. Don't start all that cobblers. That don't mean nothing.
Of course it does.
No, it doesn't. I could have passed that.
If that's a monkey nuts.
Exactly.
Sure.
I don't rate him. I think we've seen his purple patch. That's the end of it. So for me, if I was going to give him a rating, I would give him a 4.
Damn, like that.
Where's Ben stand? Well, I want to know where Ben stands on this.
I think Kate is being overly harsh. He was poor yesterday. He was very poor yesterday. He had a couple of good moments. He worked his ass off. But Richarlison was not the worst of our 3 forwards that started that game. He was not the worst. He was not the worst of the forwards that played the game, period. He worked his ass off. That game didn't suit him. That game did not suit him, where we needed a striker that can come short and then pass the ball on. That's a game you don't. Richarlison is possibly the best player in the world at doing those instinct goals. That's how most of Richarlison's goals are instinct.
I said that.
Like, think, bang. The moment you give him time to think, he's terrible. He's an impulse player. So I think that's harsh. Yesterday, I'd give him a 5. I'm not far off Kate's opinion. He was poor yesterday. He was dreadful. But I wouldn't say he's been doing very well this season. I mean, everyone's lapping up Arsenal, but he's got more goals than their front 3 combined. More goal contributions than their front 3 combined.
Yeah, that's not including Saka, though, is it? That's Gabriel, Martinelli, and
not anymore. It was for a point. So
yeah, it's not anymore. Saka's
not anymore. But not after today. But he was doing very well this season. We need another striker. We need another striker that's going to help him get better. He can't be the only striker at the football club. We need to get another player that plays that position. But yeah, it was not a good game from him. I give him a 5.
This comment here from Spurs GCTV is perfect, right? Not his best game. We are all in agreement to that. But the pigeon has the heart of a lion. Yeah. He does have the heart of a lion, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes heart is not everything. We all know that. But sometimes heart is a huge part of it.
Yeah, massive.
And for players like him, who's very emotional, I'm gonna put this into terms that like my homies down here could understand, right? Back in the day when we used to do dumb shit, you wanted somebody who had heart that was gonna be fighting with you, in the alley against the other people, not the people that are gonna run, right? The people that are gonna run are the ones that use in their head. The ones that stay and fight are the ones that use in their heart. Those are the type of players that I want on my team. And that's why I can appreciate Richarlison. For me, the heart is not everything, like I said, but that leapfrogs a ton of his, like, shitty attributes. Because let's be real, he's got tons of them. We got tons of them. We have to stop.
Richarlison is good at heading. So we've got to start crossing.
Yeah.
It's so simple. It goes back to what I was saying earlier about the fullbacks. They're too narrow. They need to be getting that. Brennan Johnson, Kulusevski. The only player that really crossed the ball in the game was Sonny when he came on. He was the only player that put a cross in the box, and it ended up in a goal. Our wingers have to cross to Richarlison. That is how you're going to get the best out of him. Whip a ball in really quickly and put it on his head. I think it was like 60% of Richarlison's goals are headers. There's a reason for that. He's good in the air. Whip a ball in the box, and he'll score.
I said to Kate yesterday and the other day, Ben, that when Richarlison needs to think, that's when he messes up. When he hasn't got time to think, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
But Skippy's a lot like that too, Jimbo. When you have too much time to think, that's bad for you.
Jim, is that not men in general? When you have to think, you mess up, but when you're instinctive, you do all right.
All right, Kate, that's enough of your damn shenanigans.
Yeah.
You're on a roll today, Missy.
Sexist. So sexist.
What? You just,
I'm going to give
Rich a sexist comment in, and then you get kicked off. You're the one that calls out
typical lady, right? Typical lady, right?
I'm going to give if I've ever seen one.
I'm going to give Richie a 7. I thought he deserved a 7. He worked hard.
Oh no!
It was the assist of the assist.
7.
Yeah.
Rich plays his part in our team regardless. Ange will play him because of the trouble he gives defenders and trouble off of the ball. And then Kuva comes in and says, Richie did well under the circumstances, in my opinion. Neither winger gave him anything, and Matters was well off of it. That's a good point. Yeah. Despite that, he's managed to get the better of Dunk a few times and still made the right runs.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, and such is football. Football's like that, right? It's sometimes you're going to get them and sometimes you won't. But you kind of have to capitalize on the chances you do get. And more times than none, Kate, Richarlison is not bagging that goal in. And that's the truth. Yeah, I will agree with that.
Go back to Koff is the voice of reason. Kate's too negative. Jim's too positive. I'm stuck in the middle.
You're damn right. That's damn right.
What would you give him, Leo?
Well, thankfully, this is my stream, and I don't have to answer that.
We've gone 4, 5, 7. So you must be 6. Then we're 4, 5, 6, 7. So that sounds about right.
No, I'm gonna give Richie a 7. I'll give Richie a 7. Just to do that. He was a 6.
6. 4, 5, 6, 7.
He was a 6, you guys.
Yeah, he was definitely 6.
So, and now we're going to talk about our wingers that really didn't provide much of anything to Richarlison. Kulusevski getting the nod on the right side, that brings a way different dynamic than a quicker, more pacey Johnson. And on the left side, Heung-min Son stayed on the bench, which I think was the right move. We could definitely get your guys' opinions on that. But we went with Werner. Yeah, we went with Werner on the left side.
The Irish
again.
Werner.
These players need to get the ball on the run so they can use their pace. I'm talking about Werner and Johnson. They need to get the early ball so that they could get it in stride and beat these
Johnson
players.
Needs to learn how to be a footballer.
Who's that? Werner?
Johnson. He needs to learn to be a footballer.
Johnson? Yeah, I mean, that we're definitely going to talk about subs at the end because I mean that's a hit or miss as well, right? People are loving it, and some have that opinion as well. He was
dreadful, Leo. I don't know if I'll be here, but Johnson was dreadful.
Yeah.
The entire game, he was when he came on, he was terrible. But that is the beauty of football. You can be the worst player on the pitch and be the hero of the game. That is football. He was dreadful. Like his first touch was poor. He didn't take his man on again, which I've been complaining about for the last 3 weeks. But when you need him, he puts it in the back of the net. That is football. The worst team won, and the worst player in the worst team scored the winning goal. That's how it works.
Yeah. What would you give Johnson then, Ben?
I'd give him a 2.
Okay. All right, cool. Had he not scored a goal, it would have been a 1. Look, like I said, on the right side, Kulusevski was holding up the ball and playing. He played a little bit better, right? He's able to hold up the ball and do like this little thing where he puts his body in between between the ball and the defender and uses that to kind of get around and put in an excellent ball for. He gave the ball for the assist on the first one?
He gave the ball to Sarr when Sarr did that.
Sarr, yes. And then Sarr tried going back in. On the day, out of those two, who would you rate, Ben, out of Kulu and Werner?
Kulusevski and Werner were both really bad. They were both really poor in the game. But there was a 20-minute spell after half-time where Kulusevski was really aggressive, really good on the ball, which was really funny because the moment he started playing well, they hooked him off. They hooked him off after he started playing really well and he got the goal. So they were both poor. They were both really poor. Werner was not good at all. But we're not using Werner's pace. We're not putting the ball in behind for him. So he has got attributes, but you've got to use them. You've got to use them. You've got to put the ball in behind the fullback and let him run onto it, and he can put a quick ball in. But Kulusevski was the better one of the two. I'd give Kulusevski a 5, and I'd give Werner a 3. He just wasn't at the races. Oh, you're muted, Leo.
Our wingers. How do you feel about our wingers?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I thought Kulu did. There were spells where he did all right. I'm not Kulu's biggest fan. I think he looks slow and sluggish. I think Werner, he gets himself in some good positions, but I don't know. I'm not convinced. I mean, I would have give Kulu a 6 and Werner a 5 if I was rating them myself. I don't think Timo was quite that bad.
He was pretty bad.
Not as bad as Richie though. Richie was worse.
No, he was worse than Richarlison. He was worse.
Oh, I don't think so. I think Werner got in some really good positions, but he can't seem to finish. I think if he could get himself a goal, we'll see a different Werner. I really do.
Yeah, I agree. Jimbo, out of the two wingers, which one did you rate on the day? And
I rated Werner better than Kulu. I thought Kulu was terrible.
Wow.
Yesterday, I thought he was terrible. Werner got himself in some good positions. Got some good crosses in. It's not. I don't think he's as bad as you said, Ben Werner. I didn't think he was terrible.
No, he was poor yesterday. This is the problem with watching it on the telly versus watching it in the stadium. You see two different games.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, I can only go by what I saw, but I didn't think either one of them was like electric. I mean, I would have probably.
Everyone's different.
I would have probably given it the other way around. I'd have given Werner 6, and I'd have given Kulu 5. I thought Kulu was non-existent yesterday. I really did. But I would give Johnson, right? I would give Johnson a 7.
Oh, no.
Right? And I'll tell you why I would give him a 7. Listen, let me finish.
Terrible.
Let me tell you why I'd give him a 7, right? Because his job's to get on that back post now, tapping goals. Right? And he did exactly what Ange wanted him to, get in that back post and tap in a goal. So he done his job, which won us the game, which got us 3 points. So I give him a 7.
I could have scored that though, Jimbo.
It doesn't, but you never bend it. Johnson scored it. If you'd have scored it, I'd give you a 9.
There you go.
Who would have scored? Every single person that's watching the stream today could have scored that goal.
I'd have missed it because I probably wouldn't have seen it because I wouldn't have had my glasses on.
Well, I give him a 7 because he was where he should have been to get the goal that won us the game.
Yeah.
I'll give him a 7.
Yeah. Yeah, so I agree with Talking Beer here. We do need to upgrade that front line somehow. Yeah. Eventually, we're going to have to, anyways, if we want to compete with the bigger boys, if you will. We have to do so. Look, guys, in my opinion, I think the fact that our team is struggling on the right side of the pitch to produce anything. The only thing they're producing is the tap in at the end of the cross coming from the left side. So that worries me. And with that alone, I'm going to have to rate Werner a little bit higher than Kulusevski. Although Kulusevski, I feel like put in a better shift.
The goal, though, Leo.
He set up the goal.
The moment Kulusevski came off the pitch, we became terrible again. We lost all our impetus, which is why I rated Johnson so low. Because as soon as you brought off Kulusevski and brought on Johnson, we lost all our passion, we lost all our aggression, and we looked like we weren't going to score again. And Brighton came back into the game.
Yeah.
As Jimbo said before, he's good at holding on to the ball. He's good. He's muscly. But as soon as you bring Johnson on, he's lightweight.
Yeah. Look, and I totally agree with all of that as well. I just feel like we have a footballer in Johnson, and I hate to be like a cliche Spurs fan and say like, oh, I'm going to give him time, this and that. Like I'm not in the mood to give any player time. Honestly, I want players that are ready to go and to play. But this is what we have for the rest of the season, and who knows how much further down the line. So I'm kind of stuck with having to like watch it for the time being, and I'm okay with it because I feel like there's something there in Johnson. That doesn't mean he's a good player right now. I just feel like in hopefully, and I know I sound crazy, but hopefully he'll come through. He comes good.
Leo, do you think he's going to come good?
Yeah, I think all of our players are, Jimbo. And I mean, that's just, look, bro, that's me being able to tell you I'm biased, but I really believe it. I'm biased, Jimbo, but I really believe it. And I do, bro. Let me see here. Catch up on these. Sorry. What was at the game? Oh, Ken was at the game and agree with Ben. Werner was poor. Kulu had a better second half. Okay.
You see two different games. You see two different games. Bizarre.
Yeah. No, and I could totally see that. I've said that plenty of times. Like when I watch the games at the pub, I only see like the 6 men at a time that are in the frame.
Yeah.
I don't see where Udogi's at all game. I don't see where Poro's at all game. These are things that I would love to be able to, right? And
one of the reasons I mean, start taking photos of the game during the game and like sending people positions that seem where
I would welcome any type of photos like that. So fuck yeah, homie, because I'm only reduced to these 11.
You only get half the game
on a TV screen. So, I'm dreading that we waste our money by making Werner a permanent signing. Perhaps we can bring Dele back too. He was good years ago too. There you go. He was in attendance at the game. I seen a couple of pictures of him.
Arsenal so angry because he's an Everton player and he's at a Tottenham game as a bit naughty.
Yeah, he actually still is on their books, right? Yeah. Arsenal destroyed West Ham today. I don't know if we are capable of scoring 6. Man. We're capable of scoring 6, but we're also capable of letting 6
7. We'll concede 5. That's the problem.
Werner lacks conviction. Only get to see the on match of the day. Touch in the box, a pen, yes. So Nita says that it was a pen on the touch in the box. Go down, you win. Ratings, to be honest, can't say. But just know Porro needs to be in the midfield. Don't need Dragusin on the bench. Plenty of hot takes from Nita on that one.
I get that from Nita because Dragusin played every minute of every game for Genoa. Yeah. And now he's sitting on the bench. I think he's good enough to play in the team once in a while.
I would have him at right back, and I would push
he can't. The problem is
played right back. He has played right back in his career.
If we're playing the way we play, we'd have to change the way we play because the right backs then become central midfielders. That's them, and I don't think he's got the technical ability to play as that inverted right back.
Yeah, there's times there's some of those still frame photos, kind of like what you're talking about, Ben, where you see Kulu trying to send something in, and Porro is literally in front of him. You know, that's how tucked in and up for how high our backs are getting. What about the midfield, you guys? We had a trio of Bentancur, Maddison, and Sarr. Of course, Sarr got the goal on a lucky bounce, but he was it looked like he was trying to send the ball into to Richarlison on a cross, but it took the deflection, hit the post, and a tight angle to get that goal in. You know, Pepe Sarr, take a bow. That was an excellent shot, so close to the goal. A difficult goal.
If the defender hadn't got it, it was going to go straight through to Richie.
Yeah. So, and we all know after that, it's going over the bar.
Yeah.
Kate, on the day, out of the 3 of our midfielders, to you, who stood out and who was the worst?
Oh, I think Sarr stood out because I think he's the one that we really have missed. I think it showed that we've missed him. He just looked and gave the ball away a few times. I don't think any of them midfield particularly were brilliant. Madders still doesn't look fully fit to me. Bentancur, I don't know. He just doesn't look a fraction of himself. When he came back from his first injury after all that time, he come into the team and he was magnificent. He was like he'd never been away. Yeah. And then he's got knocked again. He's come back and he looks his shot of confidence. I don't know if he's a bit nervous about getting injured. But for me, it was Sarr was the best midfielder, then Madders, and then Benny. But none of them were outstanding. I just think Sarr, he scored the goal, and I think we've missed him because he gets everywhere.
The lawnmower.
Yeah, he really is.
I'm going to go on a monologue about Pape Sarr because I've been going on a monologue for the past 3 days about how good Pape Sarr was. A 15 out of 10 yesterday. That kid, he's a genius. He is an utter genius. He does every single thing on a football pitch, scores goals, runs about like a lunatic, shows for the ball. He is the complete midfielder. And people are saying good finish. That people don't realise how difficult a finish that is with your weak foot at that tight angle when you're not technically a goal. That is a fantastic.
Yeah, in that split second as well. He had a split second.
We have to be careful. Sarr, I've been having conversations with Kuva in the Tottenham on Tour Well, we had a stream on Andrew Management this morning. I compared him to more like Yaya Toure and N'Golo Kante, but you could also add Patrick Vieira in there as well, the way he runs. He's a mixture of those three players because he's just an absolute... When he gets going, he's a monster. And he's only 21, 22, I can't remember how old he is. I can't remember how old I am. He's got all the little ingredients, all the best footballers ever have had. The Makeleles, the N'Golo Kantes, he's got everything. If we can nurture that, he's going to be a world-class midfielder. He's a genius. He is a genius. And people need to start realising it because he's so bloody good.
Yeah, and he's got a motor on him too, man. That kid could play for all day if they let him.
Yeah. He just won't stop running. That is why Lee Harvey in the Tottenham Tour chat, he calls him the lawnmower because he covers every blade of grass. He just does not stop running. Doesn't stop. He is the antithesis of Ange Ball. We do not stop. That is not the antithesis. He's what I can't remember the word. He is what Ange Ball is. Don't stop. Don't stop until the game ends.
I get it, but I still think that the comparisons to Yaya Toure and Vieira are well off. I don't think it's anywhere near that yet. I like him. He's solid. I think he's brilliant for his age. I just don't get that vibe yet.
He's brilliant.
I'd have given him a 7 out of 10. I would never have gone anywhere near a 10 or 15.
He's 15. He's 15 out of 10.
I think you just love him, Ben.
I do. He's a genius. We were a quarter of the team without Pape Sarr in midfield. That's how much we missed him.
That's a good point.
Forget Sonny. Without his energy in midfield, we were nothing. We were losing second balls all over the place. He is a genius.
One thing that worries me is James Maddison has came back from injury, and I know he
always does this though, Leo.
As far as
it takes 3 or 4 games to get back to full fitness.
Okay. Yeah, see, that's where I was going with. Is I'm hoping that I'm hoping that it's a case of like, yeah, he was injured for a long time, right? Yeah. One of his longest injuries that he's had, and now he's forced to to pick up a lot of slack now, coming right into the team, right? And we had the Bissouma injury or suspension and stuff like that when he came back, and then having to deal with probably not 100% Bentancur, and then Sarr was out of the midfield. And so I think in general, our team is getting, the band is getting back together, if you will, for lack of better words. And it's a good problem for Ange because if this best 3, which I would have said at the beginning of the season, Maddison, Bentancur, and Sarr is probably up there with the best 3 combination that we can have. And then, he's got the issue of dropping Bissouma into the midfield now too, which is a good headache to have.
Not only that, Leo, sorry, but I was going to say Kulu's much better in the middle, in my opinion, as well, than on the wing.
I think if we could find somebody that's probably a more adequate replacement at this moment in time than Johnson would be, and I maybe I'd be entertained the idea of him going into the midfield, because he said so himself, but plenty of times that he sees himself as a number 10, but
I don't say it.
Who knows?
Quick enough.
Jimbo, out of the 3 midfielders that we had that started, who was the best one for you and who was the worst?
Jimbo. You're muted.
He muted himself again. There we go.
It's I thought I was muting you, Kate, as it happens, but I muted myself. Sarr, I had to give him an 8 yesterday. I thought he was really good. He deserves an 8 just for taking that goal away. He took it. Madders was all right. It wasn't too bad. I thought Bentancur was a bit off the pace again. But I'll tell you something, Leo. I'm really interested to see what's going to happen in the summer. What players he's going to keep here and what players he's going to get rid of and what positions he's going to bring in. Because I shouldn't think he's happy with the wings, right? With the wingers. So I'm just interested to see what he's going to do. I don't think Postecoglou is the type of manager that will keep people for the sake of keeping them. if they're not doing their job as he wants it, I just can't see where.
And that worries me about Son. That worries me about Son because I feel that as much as Son is loved by everybody throughout the club, I feel that like if Ange starts to see any type of slowing down or decrease, I think he will jump at the opportunity to not only replace that and better his squad, honestly. So yeah,
Sonny's got a few more years in him yet at the top level.
Yeah,
he's too good a player.
Son go to becoming more of a striker now that he's
I would.
That's what I see, Ben. I see that as well. I see him being moved into the middle, but I'm really intrigued to see what he's going to do with some of these players, and how he's going to work it out, and who he's going to bring in, and what positions. Because this guy's not here to make the numbers up. He's here to win stuff. And he said he wants us firing on all fronts, not just to win one trophy. That's not the ambition. The ambition is to be fighting on all fronts. So to do that, he's going to have to make some changes. So it would be interesting to see.
This is actually incorrect. The world is only covered by 20% water and 80% is covered by Pape Sarr.
Guys, I know I missed some comments. I'm sorry if I did. We are going to wrap up in 10 minutes, Benny. So if you want to just hang out, brother, we'll wrap up in about 10. Big up to everybody in the chat. If I missed your comment, I'm sorry. Star stepped up yesterday. Big up to Ellie. Thank you for being here. Everybody's here. So we are just left with the back line. At the end of the day, our back line was good. Playing a high line is always a gift and a curse. It's very, very attractive to see your whole team in the attacking half. What's that, Jimbo?
I love it.
Yeah, no, I love seeing it. I love seeing it. It's just a dangerous thing to do, but it has very good reward, right? It's a high risk, high reward type situation. Udogie and Porro, we're going to do these both at the same time. And Kate, I will start with you. Udogie and Porro, can you give me just any type of input on these two gentlemen?
Yeah, they're all right. Nothing special, particularly. I would give them a 6 each. Don't think either of them stood out. They were just steady eddies on the day.
They're just like wallpaper, just there.
Exactly that.
Jimbo, how do you feel about our right back and our left back yesterday?
Yeah, they was all right. I mean, I don't think that there wasn't. I don't think there was anyone on the pitch that was like the two I thought that maybe were a bit outstanding were Romero. I thought he was really good yesterday, and Sarr. But everybody I thought was just kind of maybe average, just above average, and they were the same. I don't think nobody really stood out massively for me yesterday. It was like a bit of a
meh.
Yeah, it was a bit of a stop-start.
I saw that.
So I'm changing my number plate on my car to M37 VDV. And hope that will go half as fast as Mickey. Big up. Before I go, there was a question that I'm going to pull up, but we'll go into Van de Ven. Ben, your thoughts on Van de Ven and Romero? I know Van de Ven did stomp on the homie's foot and did cause a penalty, which at the that shit like that happens. Apart from that, anything that you've seen in the game that you didn't like coming from these two gentlemen?
I think Van de Ven had his worst game in a Spurs shirt yesterday.
Yeah,
I thought he was very off it yesterday. He was not the player we've seen for the last year. He wasn't great yesterday at all. It wasn't a good performance for him. But Romero was head and shoulders above him. Romero was a beast yesterday. Yeah. Aggressively into tackles, trying to make. I think he only made one foul in the game.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He only made one foul. He was excellent yesterday. And that's why you have two really good centre-backs, because when one Harry's having a poorer game, the other one steps up and brings him through the game. That's why centre-backs are about having partnerships, and those two were a very decent partnership yesterday. The penalty's not Van de Ven's fault. It's the system's fault. I'd almost partly blame it on the manager, because we shouldn't be playing that way, doing stupid passes that close to our goal. We lose the ball, and it becomes an immediate turnover happens. We give away a penalty. We need to start thinking, you know what? We can't really get through this. Just get rid of it, because that's going to happen. But Ange wants them to play that way, and if we make mistakes, make more mistakes.
Ben, do you think maybe VDV was nervous because of the first game against Brighton when they banged 4 past us?
Possibly.
Maybe he had that in his brain.
That game, no. He didn't play against Brighton.
Oh, was he not in that game?
He didn't play.
He was hurt.
Yeah, he was injured.
Oh, all right.
Our centre backs were Ben Davis and Emerson Royale that game.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So it was just a poor performance from him. It happens.
Yeah,
he's a young player. How old? I can't remember ages. He's a young kid in terms of football. He's going to have poor games and he's going to have great games. But it happens. But it was a very poor game yesterday. The system didn't work against Brighton. We got through it in the end, but maybe playing too many tippy-tappy passes to the box isn't going to work. Sometimes we need to just get rid of it.
Yeah. That's a lot of the homies here at the pub we're growing a bit unsettled by the way they try to be so comfortable playing out the back.
If you're going to play that way, you need a Basuma, homie. You need a Basuma who's going to be press resistant. He's going to turn on a sixpence and then pass a ball. We didn't have the personnel to play that style of football against Brighton.
Yeah, and hopefully with the coming games we get more of our players back and rolling. You know, hopefully we'll be back to how we were starting off on that run that we went on. We'll finish off with Venom, and I'm going to go with Kate. Kate, just give me a synopsis on what you thought about Venom.
I thought he did well. Did a couple of decent saves. Much better than the other day. I think I see Maddison was trying to protect him and the corners. I do find this whole business with the corners and the overcrowding in the penalty box a little bit strange. Sometimes it looks like you literally can't move in there. It's like they're treading on top of each other. It's very bizarre. But I thought he was solid enough, and he didn't look like he was short of confidence. So I thought he had a decent game. 7, 8-ish.
Yeah.
7.
And you can't really. I mean, the penalty, Kate. You're kind of screwed at that point being a keeper, right? I mean, the odds are really against you at that point.
It's because they changed the rules during the season again. Nobody knows the rules. Nobody knows if it's a foul, if it's not a foul. Why don't they wait till? Because at the beginning of the season, if that happened, it would be a foul. Now, why is it not a foul? Nobody knows the rules. The players don't have the time to get the Premier League rulebook out and read the entire thing back to front because they keep on changing the rules. They need to stop doing it. So now everyone's nervous. That one of the big centre halves has really got to take it on and just say, right, if anyone's getting between him, I'm going to batter him.
Exactly.
Yeah. Got to have your homies back every once in a while, Ben.
Yeah.
That's all that is. Jimbo, your last words on Venom?
Yeah, he did well. I think he does well most games. If he makes a mistake now and again, then we're going to forgive him. All goalkeepers make mistakes, but I thought he did well yesterday. I didn't like the pass out he done to Benny, which ended up in the penalty. I thought that was a bit. We didn't think that he just threw it out, but no, he does. You can't knock the man. He's a great keeper, and I said to Kate when he come to us, this man's going to end up the best keeper in the Premier League. And I think you thought I was mad, Kate, didn't you?
I still think you're mad.
But he's going to be the best goalkeeper in the Premier League.
I've had this. I had this when I was on holiday in Italy. Because most of my Italian friends all love football. I was like, what do you think of Vicario? They always that Italian national keeper at the end of the year. They all just said it. Yep. And you can see Empoli are going to go down this year because they don't have a Vicario. That it's just like Sarr when he left Metz. The moment he left Metz, they got relegated. It shows how important the play is.
I just think he's got everything. He's good with his feet. He does instinctive saves.
He needs to put some muscle on so he can make that space.
His instinctive saves are just off the planet. I mean, some of them saves he's done.
He does need to be a bit stronger, though, Jimbo.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
he needs a bit of strength.
That'll come, Kate. And he does. He's good at long shot saves.
27 is young for a keeper as well, isn't it, Jimbo?
Yeah.
So he's got plenty of time to learn.
He's got everything, and you're right. Maybe he needs to be a bit stronger on the corners and that, but he's getting a bit of protection now. But I love him. I absolutely love him. He is one of my favourite players in the team, without any doubt.
His passing yesterday was terrible. The amount of times he surrendered possession back to Brighton yesterday was not good by Vicario. Yeah. Chris Peters joining us right when we're heading off. Big up to you, Chris Peters. Well, look, my homies, that was the match review with the homie Leo Coys from Mile High Hotspur. These are my friends Jim, Kate, and my homie the Cough. You guys know where to find these guys, and if you don't, you need to get to know them, like Alex says. My homies, I appreciate everybody joining. I appreciate you guys for joining me as well. And I hope everybody has a wonderful day. And call somebody and tell them you love them. Have a good day, you guys.
Yeah.